Good morning, everyone. This is Corey Hinkle with your Ankerstar Wealth Daily Update. We are going to address whether or not software is dead moving forward and how to think about the volatility that you're seeing in the software space, not only just today, but really over the past year. I'll also give you a kind of a tiny market update as well. Before we begin, we must remind you that this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence before acting on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on ankerstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and mine alone. All right, going to show here, you do see that S&P 500 down 1%. Not telling the full story there because you are seeing the technology space down about 2%. That's also with Meta, one of those Mag 7 stocks, being up about 8%. So if you take them out, you know, there's quite a bit of pain in the technology space today. Really isolated though to those software stocks out there. So we actually see this headline that software stocks have entered a bear market on AI disruption fear, with ServiceNow plunging 11% Thursday. If you go look at ServiceNow's earnings were fine. They had, I believe, all-time high revenues, strong margins, all these things, but there's just been a growing level of fear over the past year that software is going to become obsolete in a world where AI proliferates and continues to expand. They move. Microsoft, right, a heavy software name, down about 12%. Palantir, they're AI, but kind of software-y as well, getting hit pretty hard. No earnings, that's just 5%. You have Palo Alto Networks, so that's cybersecurity, which is software, that's 6%. CrowdStrike, that's cybersecurity software, that's 7%. You've got Salesforce, Intuit. These look like massive losses, right? All throughout. Workday 10%, Datadog 8%. I mean, it keeps going. PTC, Tyler, Paycom, all of these things software related getting destroyed. You know, because Uber has kind of a connection to the physical world, it has a little bit of a bid. It's still down though, you know, in recent months. Let's look at a 1 year. You can see just how dramatic it's been. Microsoft during the AI revolution, nothing. Salesforce, Adobe, these are quality companies that have had no drop off in business performance that are getting crushed over this fear that AI is going to not only disrupt their business, but potentially make their businesses become obsolete. Now, how do you want to think about this? Well, remember, in markets, volatility, as we kind of think of it, it represents a gift at times. And I'm going to show you a couple of case studies here around buying high quality businesses that are going through periods of volatility, periods of fear, right? Irrational this, irrational that, where the fundamentals have not deteriorated, but the market has installed a narrative that is, you know, going against these businesses for whatever reason. And it's also fair to note that Microsoft is not trading super cheap yesterday or today on a fundamental basis, but because it is such a high quality business, it does warrant a premium valuation. And so some of that premium, really probably a good chunk of that premium is being removed today. Whereas over time, what do you think? Will Microsoft prove that they do deserve that full premium or not? You know, and that's what investing is, right? But for the gift of volatility, it means that, and it could be viewed on a single stock or a portfolio as a whole. Not every single stock has a drawdown that represents a great opportunity. Now, of course, this is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you don't totally know the future. No one does, right? You weigh the evidence, you assess what you can, right? And you make allocations accordingly. Now, sometimes you want to make a consensus allocation. There is no one that thinks that, certain businesses will have issues in the future, and that's a consensus allocation. You're going with the crowd, right? But there are times to make a contrarian allocation where you view that the volatility in a certain time, or it could even be the market as a whole. Think back to COVID, right? You have a lot of volatility around the idea that, oh, the world is entering a global pandemic. Well, there were people out there buying stocks, and those people were saying, hey, I don't know the future, but I'm going to bet that the narrative of this global pandemic is worse than the pandemic itself. And so those folks who did that were rewarded for that by outsized gains moving forward. And so if you want outsized gains moving forward, sometimes you can do that going with the consensus. Sometimes you can do that with a little bit of a contrarian take. So software, right? Software getting crushed. What do different investors think about software moving forward? That's up to each their own. But I do want to show this. I'm not going to go through this full presentation. Steve has done that, and it's a wonderful presentation if anyone has fears around market volatility or something like that. But here you can see the math, and you can pause it if you want, but I'll just kind of cut to the chase. When folks are consistently buying, and you find high quality businesses who are experiencing a dip, some volatility, if folks buy through that volatility, they can be rewarded with outsized gains moving forward. You can see that the richest, if we'll call it that, the person who had the most gains from these three investors who all invested the same amount of money was the person who actually owned the most volatile stock. And they're sitting on gains, and the stock is not even back to its old all-time high yet. So this person has identified a quality business that was experiencing a period of volatility in their stock price, and the person was rewarded for taking advantage of the weakness in the stock price. Now, remember what we said at the beginning, not all single stock dips are a sign of opportunity. There was once a stock, it still exists, called GoPro. GoPro taught me that a stock can go down 5% a day forever. The math works out. It can fall 5% today, 5% tomorrow, 5% the next day. It can just keep going down by 5% every day. I wonder if GoPro's down 5% today. Let's see. Oh no, GoPro is only down 1% today, but I promise you, I owned it for a while and I was like, God, this thing goes down 5% every single day. So it was not an opportunity, right? And you have to sell those, you have to recognize those. But the fundamentals of that business were also deteriorating. Oh, and we can see this at other times. Am I just making something up? We're about to talk software. We saw this with Netflix in 2022. It was down 73%, but the revenue never even dipped. Revenue never dipped. The stock was down 70%. Meta was down 76% in 2022. Revenue dipped by less than 1%. Google was down 41% in 2022, towards the beginning of 2023. Revenue never dipped for Google. Margins dipped 5%. One thing you have to understand, business growth is not linear. These companies do deal with headaches. They're dealing with real life, just like all of us, right? We all deal with headaches. You have to give them grace. And actually, you have to sometimes give them money, right? You have to buy the dip in quality businesses when they're experiencing volatility. Do you think the people who bought down here and opened this gift, are they happy? Or are the people who sold happy, right? Bitcoin, we've seen periods of volatility. People have been rewarded for buying those dips. And Adobe now, Adobe's down it's actually worse now. It's down something like 60% from its all-time high. Adobe has not experienced, and this is software now, Adobe has not experienced a dip in revenue. Margins have fluctuated slightly, but have not fallen much from all-time highs, if at all. Is this an opportunity? This is the bet that investors have to make right now when looking across the software space. Go one by one. Which of these things can and will be replaced by AI? Which of them will not be replaced by AI? So obviously there's some thoughts on that inside the Ankerstar Wealth um, network and inside of our company. This does not mean that you would ever go all in on these things, right? These are calculated known risks. It's a contrarian take to be buying a software name when no one in the world wants to own software ever again. These things are not the consensus play right now. And of course, again, you don't want your entire portfolio to be a contrarian play. That leaves you way too disconnected from the momentum, right, of the market as a whole. But there are times and places where you can do that, right? If somebody's buying United Healthcare after percent in the last year, that's a contrarian play. No one wants to own the stock. No one thinks that there's value there. No one thinks it's quality business anymore, right? And if someone were to take that bet and it worked out that the haters were wrong, then they would have outsized returns from that. And yeah, you have to make that. There's always going to be opportunities for a contrarian play. You have to pick and choose when and where you do those things. Is software going to become obsolete from AI? I'm not able to predict that. Bet. I think about it like this. What would it take for Ankerstar Wealth to replace our internal software that we pay for? It would probably take us having to hire, because we don't have we outsource that. We would have to probably hire someone who manages that through the use of AI, through vibe coding and all those things. And you'd have to pay them a salary. Well, our current software suite that we outsource is much less than a salary. So, that's kind of you're weighing the evidence. Does it make sense for people to outsource that? Because just because an AI can generate some software that would maybe allow a firm to bring some of that from being outsourced in-house, you're still going to have to maintain it, integrate it with other softwares. There's always going to be layers of software that are speaking to each other and connected. So where does that become worth it for Ankerstar Wealth? It's not close. I also think about, like an auto body shop. Are they gonna bring somebody in to do all their software through vibe coding and AI that they have to update and maintain, or are they just going to continue paying for the software they have? Or librarians, right? Are librarians going to want to? Because a lot of people are busy at work. They don't have time to learn how to maintain software through AI, and they probably won't. So you have to weigh those things. Do I think software is going to become obsolete? I would say no, but that doesn't mean that you put 50% in your portfolio or something, going against the grain of the market. All right, that's it. At the end of software, I think not, but time will tell. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Remember that volatility is just a normal part of the market, and it can blow over faster than you think. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Look forward to talking to you soon.